Sounds Youth Station with myself Ukuhle wakwa Ngezana. Sibulele kakhulu kuphakepa kwi-team ka-Andy noKhanyisile as they brought us, and Matthews, of course, how could I forget Matthews on air, as they brought us a very great show, taking us all the way from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock with a show called On The Move. You can catch them here tomorrow, same time, same place, bringing you the best in entertainment and information. My name is Ukuhle wakwa Ngezana, and it is time for the third episode of the Makhanda Sports Show, the most anticipated sports show in the history of this town. We try to be the information highway for you with everything sports that is happening in this beautiful city of Makhanda. This is a sporting city, ladies and gentlemen. This is a sporting city, and we're going to be telling you each and every single thing that happens. So much to talk about today. Of course, we're coming out of a weekend of jam-packed football action where we had the Nobengula Foundation tournament that was happening at JD Lepo Stadium, along with the Nedbank Cup that was happening at JD Lepo Stadium. So the Nobengula Foundation was hosting Makana LFA teams with what you call a post-season or pre-season tournament. And then we had the Nedbank Cup, which was hosting our SAB teams that are actually going to be competing for an opportunity to participate in the televised Nedbank Cup, and we're going to tell you how that tournament is going for them. We're going to bring you some interviews as well with the coach of Jacaranda Aces and a local team called Leicester City. So please do keep it locked for that. We're also talking about the Southern Eastern Districts Rugby Union, who are going to be hosting their 50th anniversary gala dinner at the end of this week. So much sport that is happening in this beautiful city of Makhanda. And of course, last week, my colleagues on Sunday will have spoken about this. The winners of the Rhodes University Internal League, the Troopers. We'll be telling you how that game went. But before we get to all of that, with me in studio, I am graced by two very special guests. They are the Eastern Cape Students Team Chess League reigning, defending champions that are with us in studio and are going to be telling us about all things chess and how their tournament went and how they won the tournament as they're representing the Rhodes University Chess Club. I'd like to greet you, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, it's a great pleasure to be here, man. Thanks for having us. Yeah,
it is such a pleasure to have you guys. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you're a busy people, being chess champions and all.
It's not easy. Just play.
Go easy. Carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire university on your shoulders. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. We really do appreciate the time that you've taken out of your busy days and your busy schedules to actually be here. I can't express enough how much we do appreciate it. If I could, I would personally pay you for your for your presence here. It is an honor to be in the presence of champion royalty. As we know, at Rhodes University, sports is not one of our, it's not one of our strong suits. We do compete in the internal league in terms of rugby. Our football team is fairly competitive, but it's very seldom where we get to call ourselves the champions of something. Yeah. So why don't you gentlemen tell me, how has the first week been as champions?
Wow. Well, first and foremost, greetings to everybody that's listening. My name is Botlhale Modisaotsile. I'm with Dawood Kroutz. We are the first chess team, representing Rhodes University. And it's been a few days, because we scooped to the league on Saturday, and everyone is proud. Like, we were walking with the trophy yesterday, and people were like, wow, where's this coming from? Like, no, Rhodes Chess won the league, and like, what? We won the league, so like, I think we're just changing the game in terms of how people understand chess, because now we are one of those sports that, haven't really gotten much support. We don't have a coach. Yeah. So imagine we beating teams that have coaches. Amazing. And we don't have a coach. So just relying on each other, the unity that we have as a team has really carried us through thick and thin. I mean, the league took place over 3 legs. The first leg was here at Rhodes, and we started off pretty well. We won all our games. And then the second leg was at Alice at UFH Alice, and the team did really well there. We only lost one game, and then the third one was in Wusu Komani. and that's where we wrapped up the league. So it's not easy, because the games are quite long. The time control is like 1 hour for 1 hour for each opponent. So you just need to keep a cool head, make sure you're on the right track, you've done the necessary practicing, and then just build from there. But everyone is happy. Everyone is like crying about the trophy. They're like, where's this one coming from? So the people are excited. They're really happy for us.
Yeah. So you're saying you've got 1 hour games. What happens if you reach the end of the game? You reach the end of the hour without having actually concluded the game. What do they look at?
Well, since the time control is like 1 hour, should your time run out, you will lose the game. But it all depends on the pieces that your opponent has. If you are the one that has like run out of time, for example, if your opponent just has a king and a knight, or a king and a bishop, and you've run out of time, it's a draw. But if they have like a king and a pawn and you've run out of time, like any king with a checkmateable piece, a piece that can deliver checkmate, then you lose the game. But it's all about making use of the time that you have, and also the type of player that you are, or the type of playing style, whether you're an aggressive player, passive aggressive, defensive. It's just based on your style of chess. I think chess is also unpredictable as a sport. So yeah.
And you were actually just telling me when we were off air about the amazing record that you guys have basically achieved this year in terms of your results. In terms of your wins, your draws, and your losses. Please tell the people.
All right. So in the league specifically, we've won 8 games, we've drawn 1, and we've only lost 1. So we were playing against Wusu Mthatha, we were playing against Wusu Komani, and we were playing against the UFH A and B teams. You're probably asking, what about NMU? Well, NMU couldn't join the league. They had their reasons, but we did go to the NMU Chess Festival where we could compete with them, as well as with Port Elizabeth Chess Club. And Rhodes won that festival as well. So
beat them there as well.
Just a week before.
So
you guys are
one
just
big trophy after
handing out hands.
Handing out hands.
Going around, just giving people these hands.
Yeah.
No. That's really brilliant. That's really brilliant. And of course, you were also telling me off air about just the amount of tournaments that you guys have won this year, the amount of medals, let me put it that way, that you guys have won this year. Tell the people how good you are.
Hey, so we started off the chess calendar. The first tournament was around March, April,
yeah.
Yeah, when we had our first trials in PE. The Nelson Mandela.
That was
May. Yeah. The NMB chess trials, first one.
Sure.
And so I think there was 5 of those we attended. And from the 5, we had pole positions throughout, if I'm not mistaken. Like, for every tournament, at least one of us were in the top 3. And basically, all of us were in the top 10. Like, through every tournament, our president, Lucas Nguni, actually relayed this info the other day. To all the tournaments that we've played in, whether it was in PE, Jeffreys Bay, back in Komani, here, it's a really unprecedented feat that the members have never fallen outside of that top 10, because that is, at least in semi-professional, going up in the ranks. We the first aim of we try and set out for ourselves as players is to break over the 50% mark for our individual games. So if it's out of 5, if you can get at least 2.5 out of 5, then it's a relatively fine tournament for you. And everyone has been exceeding that. So that's been really unprecedented in our time at Rhodes. Botlhale and I, this is the first time, I think, speaking on behalf of both of us, that we've experienced this, that everyone is just booming. You know?
Everyone's good.
Yeah, like I think thus far, up until this point, we've accumulated over 20 medals from the start of the year when we started playing until now. and that's something really special, and
sorry about that.
no problem. And that we feel the need to let our colleagues know, and the people around us, that the leadership and the club's doing something right, things are starting to happen, and it's just grateful, for the getting to play.
That's super amazing. But I know that you're going to be leaving us a little bit because you've got many other engagements as a brand new chess champion.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to gauge from you. Of course, you guys are saying you don't have a coach, you know. Do you think that it's because of maybe the level of competition within the group that you guys are competing so well? Because obviously, all you guys have now is each other, essentially, to try and improve your skills, to try and get better at the game. What do you attribute this year's success to?
Well, I think it all starts with the vision of our chairperson, Lucas Mnguni. You know, I think his leadership has played a critical role in us achieving, because from the word go, he was like, our aim, especially since we're back from COVID, is to perform, you know, and we, you know, took that with great intent, with seriousness. And, you know, given the fact that we don't have coaches, we actually play against each other, like in tournaments, on chess, chess.com. We share books, we share puzzles, you know, and just to and watch chess videos on YouTube as well. So we make the chess space a bit more creative, you know, as much as chess is not an easy sport. Sometimes we find ourselves competing against each other for pole positions. But at the end of the day, we find ourselves in the top 5. I remember at the Legends Chess Club Open, I was first, Mr. Chairperson was second, Lindo was third, Johnny was fourth. Tiamo was 5th. These are all Rhodes Chess players, and we're playing in a tournament in East London. So the top 5 was just Rhodes players. So, you know, we always compete with each other. And in the B section of that same tournament, we had Stephen Masemola, Mali Mushweshwe as the top 2 in the B section, you know. And we actually had, and there was prize money in that tournament. And we shared that prize money because we didn't play as individuals. The whole point was to perform as a team, and we, you know, shared the prize money. We celebrated, and we had I think it was 1.5 in total, the prize money that we had. So it's all about just the team vision at the end of the day, you know. We compete against each other as individuals, but we know that we are doing that to ensure that as a team, as Rhodes Chess, already we're number 1 in the province. What else can we do in the country where we play at the USAs in December?
Crazy. So you guys are essentially, as number 1 in the province, you're going to be really representing Eastern Cape in a way when you get to the national tournaments, and I wish you guys all the best. And looking at the competition at the national level, who are you worried about?
Okay. As you mean the universities or the specific players?
Both.
Well, for me personally, I'm not sure if there's a player named Daniel Barish. Is one of the top players in the country.
Yeah.
Don't know if he'll be playing in this USAs now, because he played last year.
For which university does he play?
I think Barish is Joburg up north. Or Cape Town?
Cape Town, I think it's Cape Town.
One of those two.
One of those two.
Yeah. He is a player to watch out for, that we always, check out.
Gives you trouble.
Yeah, I've actually played with him in last year during the online USAs.
Yeah.
And I had a winning position, actually, but I choked under the pressure. Because he's literally the country's best player. And I guess I just got caught in the start. But what I was so impressed about in that game, because we spoke after the game, how he turned it around.
Yeah.
One little mistake that White made, I messed up a pattern, and he immediately exploited it. So that's when I could also see the quality of these top players, in that they have, and they come from coaches, but Lale will know from Joburg side, they have specialized training and not taking away their natural ability, of course, because they're very strong.
Yeah.
But what that experience, I'm going a bit off topic with it now, but what I'm getting to it is the strength of these players and who we're watching out for.
Yeah.
What makes them, in part, I believe, so good is that they have this aura, this confidence in them, they have preparation, they have players and coaches tailoring for them. Yeah. So some of the Western Cape guys, there's a guy from Shane Willenberg from the Western Cape. There's a few other players from the north, especially Joburg and Cape Town and Durban side. Yeah. They have very strong players.
And PTA as well.
Of course, yeah. And then also some guys from PE. But we don't frequently, funnily enough, we haven't really clashed with them in the USAs, in the individual at least, so...
in fact, just now, I want us to... We're going to get down to the technicalities of it, because I do have some questions when we get deep, into the game. But just before we get there, I know you're going to leave us in a bit. So again, I just wanted to get your questions out of the way. In terms of your interest, that you've generated over the years, your personal interest, how did you find yourself in the game, and after finding yourself in the game, when did you realize that you're actually competitive? That you're actually competitive and you can play against the best? What was that moment for you? Where did it go right? And how can we also encourage other people, to join the game?
All right. So in terms of like my introduction to the chess game, so it started when I was 11. And yeah, I just saw, people playing this interesting board game, and I was like, I also want to play that. And, so I joined chess in like grade 5, and then I just played for a year. I really didn't play for long. Then the following year, grade 6, grade 7, I was part of the first team, just trying to understand how chess is being played. I came up to be the vice captain in like grade 7. And then grade 8, when I went to high school, so I went to Moeffontein Primary, then I went to Bursley High. From grade 8, I played for, the younger team. Then grade 9, that's when I broke into the first team. So that exposed me to more and more opportunities, but we only played at a school level. It was only at my matric level where I knew about tournaments like Tshwane. For example, they had a tournament called the Gauteng North Chess Open. So in my matric year, I was the captain of the chess team. We didn't do too well in the league. We lost every game. But when I went to this particular tournament, I also didn't do too well. I was exposed to like players that, Johnny described in terms of having the specialized coaches, the puzzles, the tactics, you name it. Any resource they have, it's there. So I was exposed to playing with those players. And in chess, like, you write your games down. So I would analyze those games going home to say, okay, this is where I need to improve. And Tshwane Chess actually called me 48 hours after that tournament to say that, okay, you didn't do well in that tournament, but we'd like to invite you to play in the South African Junior Chess Championships. And I think from there, that's when my chess took off. My first SAJCC didn't go too well. I was still part of the development team. And then my first year at Rhodes, I was chosen again for Tshwane Chess. And it was that year where I actually finished as the top South African in the SA wildcards with 3 wins, 3 draws, and only 1 loss. So I was second overall, but I finished as the top South African. And I think from there, that's where my chess started to improve. And being a part of Rhodes as well, I think strengthened my chess as well, because we were always the underdogs. And I think now that we are dominating the province, we have a year to look forward to. 2023 is coming, and prior to that, we have the uses. So let's see what we have on offer in the uses.
That's amazing stuff, man. That is amazing stuff. No wonder then that, Rhodes Chess has gotten to such a level. If there's individual players, with such accomplishments and with such individual statistics, I guess I can understand why the level has been lifted to such a high level, and you guys are, so competitive in the Eastern Cape. Thank you very much for coming to the show. I'll be letting you run off now, and of course we will be carrying on with this conversation as we're going to get down to the nitty-gritties and the technicalities of chess. We're going to try and figure out how exactly these gentlemen won. As I said, right here with us in studio on the Makanda Sports Show, we are graced by royalty, the presence of the Eastern Cape Chess League champions. Ladies and gentlemen, the champions are here with us in studio. We'll be back with more after this.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, very well.
This is a lot of fun. I like this.
This is